Hey guys, we're here with Foxy Home Staging, Phoebe and Jake. Thanks for coming today and being on this and participating with me, indulging me. You guys are amazing. You've been around for several years now, 2015, right? So things are going really well. You're very busy. I see you all over digitally, online, social. How are things going?
It's been going really great. Busy market. We especially since the start of this year, nice and busy, but growing and having lots of fun doing it.
That's awesome. Good. And you guys have such a great online presence. I love all your videos, all of your kind of behind the scenes stuff is so fun to see what you guys do and how the whole process works. So that's really amazing.
I think that was something as well. We, right from the start, kind of looked at what was out there in the market and the marketing, the videos, if there were any that were out there. And we decided to make ours look very different. So right from the start, we wanted behind the scenes. We wanted, somebody kind of following us around, vlog style in a sense. And it seems to have, people that watch it give us feedback that they like it. So we've kind of doubled down on that.
Yeah, it's great. You've really kind of come out on top, and you've created a point of difference for yourself compared to other staging companies out there. There are so many of them, as you know, and how we all have to be just different. It's like agents. There's so many of us. We have to be different. So I love what you're doing. Yeah. So again, thanks for coming on here. As I was mentioning earlier, it's really important to me that we all combine efforts in the property space right now, and we support each other, that we're out there and supporting our community and our local businesses, and that, all of us in the real estate space are all just sharing information and, combining efforts during this crazy time. And it's really important to me too, to get everyone's insights, to just put everyone at ease back home who's watching this. Buyers, sellers, we're still going to be putting properties on the market. They're still going to be buying properties. So we want to just make sure that they're aware that we're still working, that everyone is in this together, that we're, adjusting our practices and what we're doing to adjust our practices to just try to do our business as best we can for everyone. So I wanted to get from you guys, how has everything been especially this last few days? How are you going to move forward? How are you all taking this?
I guess we actually talked about this morning. So Friday when we left work, we were still a bit like, yeah, this is not so great, but this should be all fine. And then over the weekend, it was such a sort of a dramatic change as to all those sort of the more particular, I guess, the hospitality shut down and the pub. It made it really serious. It just got real. So last week, the last 2 weeks, we found a real increase. So what you're seeing reported in the media, all the panic selling or the panic buying, all that sort of thing. We had a real increase in the numbers of phone calls, numbers of jobs that were booked. And then this week, after the announcement over the weekend, and then after the announcement last night, we've had a lot of jobs pushing to after Easter. So the thing on top of the virus, I guess, is that April was always going to be a difficult month with the school holidays and where all the public holidays were landing. We'd had lots of discussions about agents about timing campaigns to really work in around April. So it was always going to be tricky. Yeah. And now this different element on top.
Yeah. And how are you changing your practices? How are you going about doing your job with all of these hygienic new things to do?
I think the obvious one is, as everybody else is doing, as you say, the hygienic measures. It's kind of a given in terms of washing hands, making sure all of our furniture is cleaned. We're going about our business where we can. Our pack-ups when we're going and collecting all of our furniture for properties that have sold, those are still all happening. We, as you say, kind of added measures around, social distancing, not having people in the house when that happens. In terms of what we're trying to do, trying to adjust and get ready for the different market, because the way that properties are sold is changing and will change for at least a period of time. Phoebe mentioned the announcement last night around no public open homes and auctions for a period of time. That's obviously going to have a huge impact on the way agents can deal with their buyers and potential buyers. So we're still figuring out a little bit, and I think everybody is, given how quickly it's changing. But a couple of things that we're thinking about, and Phoebe will probably be able to speak to this a little bit better than I would, but for instance, we know that the visual aspects and the online aspects are going to be much more important. So the the pictures, the videography, potentially the virtual tours and those sort of things. So
Yep.
we're looking at things like that, and we are going to include with any properties that do stage for us a virtual walkthrough, just as part of what we do, because we know that that's going to become more important.
Oh, that's great. I love
yeah,
that.
and it's just it's not that those sort of things aren't done already, but obviously with that added importance, we want to make sure that what we're doing is actually going to be useful to our clients. So that's probably one of them.
That's awesome. I love that you're doing that, because agents are going to be trying to implement that already, and the fact that you could do it all together and kind of implement it into your service is amazing. So,
what we were finding on the weekend was a lot of agents had brought it in as an idea, and it was awesome to see. So, for example, Coronas Kelvin Grove, they had all of their Facebook lives for all of their opens, and then Place Sunnybank, they had one of their admin tell them around to all of them. I know Ben did some as well. He did Facebook lives with them all. The thing that I found was that firstly, obviously, and it's something Facebook Live's known for, with the pixelated images, like they were very, very blurry, or I saw more of an agent's face and the property floor than I did of the space.
Yes.
And then I was having a conversation with an agent we'd done a lot of work for, and he suggested, why not, like, you guys do a lot of media anyway, and I was like, how have we not thought of that idea? So we're there, and we know that we're all about first impressions, so it sort of goes along the lines of what we do anyway. And it's it's going to be a bit more relaxed and a bit more casual than something that you'd get your property videographer to do. But it's going to be like you'll see the space. So it was something that we thought, well, why not try?
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. And roll it into your package and just make it easy and quick. The timelines around these things are a bit tricky as well. So if you're able to double up on that, that's beautiful. Good for you.
Yeah, it's good down the end.
Yeah, that's awesome. So obviously you guys are still doing your job. You're getting out there, you're in the properties, you're not going to stop doing that, correct?
Yeah. No, definitely not.
Perfect. And obviously, glove up and put your masks on and this and that. And like you said, Jake, you're going to be doing all these other things to keep safe and sterilize everything. So that's amazing. How are you, do you have any advice for buyers and sellers right now, or anyone who's looking to sell their home? Like, I was thinking to myself, I'm thinking, staging companies, maybe there's just ways that owners can really engage them and get their homes and prep the place, and maybe kind of plan ahead for this kind of new surge of properties that are probably going to be coming up. And people, all this activity, like you said, after Easter and hopefully in April, we're hoping to kind of, how can we prepare for this from your perspective?
I think one of the things that, and this isn't necessarily our idea, but we're kind of something that I've heard from a conversation between the likes of Tom Panos and John McGrath, was this idea that, or from what we're hearing in conversations with a lot of agents, is Easter seems to be this kind of reference point that people are referring to. They're saying, let's wait until Easter and then see what's happening. So it's like let's wait 2 or 3 weeks and just reassess. What we're going to try and do, and we've kind of had early conversations about this, is there are still people that obviously want to sell and need to sell. For those that can defer and it's in their interest to wait, absolutely they should look at doing that. But for those that want to still go ahead, we're treating the next kind of 2.5 weeks until Easter as what is being called a soft launch. So we're trying to, I guess, encourage, as you say, getting in early with the staging and with the photography. As we all know, the private inspections can still go ahead. So get all of the marketing ready, and the agents can go to their database. They can still be showing people through one-on-one for those interested buyers, because there are still interested buyers out there. And at the moment, now they're even more interested in terms of timing. They want to get things done quickly. So we're looking to get things staged, get it done in a soft launch capacity, and then we do a proper launch around Easter, and depending on what's happening at that time.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So our soft launch period, the higher period is complimentary. That's like the most important.
I love that.
So basically, what we're doing is install now, get those private inspections happening, getting the ball rolling, and the higher period will start from the 20th of April. So people can take advantage. It's one thing for us to say, yeah, stuff's still selling, but then when you hear something come down from the Prime Minister as important as no open homes, you lose that confidence. So it's our job to really help agents to help buyers and sellers to know that this property is still moving. It's definitely still moving. So at all levels, it's not just little units, it's not big homes, it's family homes. It's the first time buyers market, from what we've heard, a little bit harder, but family homes, they're definitely still moving.
Yeah, well, especially people overseas that maybe you're trying to get home, right? They're going to need a place to live. Like, things are still going to be moving. So that's great. It kind of takes the pressure off agents and vendors, which is great for you guys to do that. Also, too, like, could they even bring you in for, consultations now, in preparation for...
For vacant properties, absolutely, but for occupied properties, a little bit harder just with the social distancing, all that sort of thing. But for a vacant property, absolutely, we can basically quote off floor plans, we can get in and get it all ready and basically have everything ready to go to install from 24 hours from the word go, basically. So just the occupied ones are a little bit harder just because of those restrictions. So particularly with everybody being home, and that's the sort of thing that we're all trying to avoid at the moment.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. I guess, like, have you thought of anything, I guess, digitally that you can do? Maybe you can do kind of like online consultations.
There's companies down south that are doing virtual Facebook consultations. It'd be interesting to see, well, we haven't actually pushed that yet, but it'd be interesting to see if people be on board with it, because there's been a couple of agents that I know that are doing, the vendors are doing a Facebook Live, like in New Zealand. The vendors are actually showing people through, which I think is pretty innovative. But it'd be interesting to see if people be on board with it.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think, like, no matter how you kind of slice it, people are still going to be buying real estate. People are still going to need your services. You're an extension of us. We're still, an essential service. You're part of us. So, we need you guys, and you guys are obviously adapting to everything that's changing and helping us do our job well. So kudos to you guys for doing that.
And I think as well, it's just, at the end of the day, we just need to be empathetic to the buyers and the sellers. From an agent's point of view, obviously we want to see more sellers come on board and get those listings on the market. I think the main concerns at the moment, and this is, as we said, it keeps changing, but things like people just don't know what's happening. So it's a lot of uncertainty. So with some of the things that we're thinking about, and some people, as I said before, some people shouldn't be listing now in particular circumstances. But if the concern is they're just not sure, they're not sure what the market's going to do, they're not sure if they're going to be able to find those buyers, then it's about changing the way you do things or the way that you sell property to kind of address those. And that's when we talk about things like including video walkthroughs and soft launches where they don't actually have to commit to anything for 3 weeks. Things like that are just about trying to address the fact that there's this uncertainty. And if people aren't sure, we can say, well, if you're not sure, why don't we do this soft launch? You're not committing to any marketing necessarily. You're not committing to a full-blown launch, but it might give us some feedback enough that we can see what happens. So I think it really is about addressing that uncertainty in the market.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. That's great. And I love that you guys are just working with everyone and buyers and sellers and agents instead of working against it. It's like we have to just adapt and work together, help each other out. So that's amazing. Anything else you guys want to add? Just gonna keep.
It's really interesting. I've spent the last couple of days on the phone talking to a lot of agents that we work alongside, and it was really hard to be on the phone on Monday. Monday was a really, really tough day talking to all agents. And then yesterday, the mood sort of changed a little bit. You can really tell the difference for those agents that have been through the GFC. They were here for the floods. And then you can tell that those agents that have, there's a real difference in attitude for the agents that have been here only in industry for a little while. But everybody's sort of in the same boat, and it's affecting every industry. So it's
everyone, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Industry. So it's tough times, but today on the phone was a lot more positive, and people really banding together more so. So it was I really enjoyed actually talking to a lot of agents today. So
yeah, it's true. I've got the same thing. I think when change happens, people mostly have that fear response. They're like, what does this mean? And then they kind of get used to it, and then, hey, we can handle this. We can do this. Here's the measures that we're going to take. Obviously, McGrath has been very hands-on with this. We've had webinars every day with, John McGrath on the team, the training team, and Tom Panos the other day, just trying to figure out how to best go about this and make sure that our clients know exactly what we're doing, what we're doing to help them, and that we're still in business and we're still doing things that we can to help them get through this and sell and buy property. So thanks to you guys for everything that you guys do. And if you haven't checked out their website and their social media, it's Foxy Home Staging. They're awesome at their videos. You'll love all their lives. So get in touch with them if you need staging and consultations and soft launches. Obviously, they're going to be willing to work with you during this crazy time. And we're all in this together to sell and buy property. So thanks so much, guys, for doing what you do and being on here today.
Thanks, Tiffany.